Aloha. Welcome to Sarah's Universe. Today we are going to be working on a new playlist. I have been feeling called for a very long time to talk about this subject. The subject in hand is going to be about the power of your subconscious mind. Okay? Now, this book is going to help me. Thanks to a family member. Thank you for giving me this gift. This is going to help me to guide you along with explaining the right terms and just putting it into a proper way of explanation. Okay. The way I was raised, I grew up half my life living in Hawaii, where most people talk Pidgin talk. It's the native language, you know. It's the native language, and then the other half in northern Minnesota, and then picking up on that native language. A lot of it. There's a lot of slang. There's a lot of cut out words. It's not necessarily what you would say proper. So, thanks to this book, which this is something that I have been working on, something that I have implied, I have taken the information of. Now, I just recently got this book, but the information inside of this book, I already know about. And I've known about this and I have applied it to my own life for about 3 years now, I think it's going on. And I'm going to be sharing the story of where my life was at, and then with inquiring this knowledge and how the power of learning the power of my subconscious and what the subconscious actually was, and started learning how to use it and how it changed my life dramatically. And it took a while, but it changed my life for the better. And I think so many people can benefit from learning how your subconscious and your conscious mind work. This is something that they don't teach us in school. And if they did, I didn't pay attention. That's for sure. So, I know at the school that I went to, we didn't learn nothing about this. Nothing. What I was taught, or from what I remember, is that we were told that we only use only a small percentage of our brains. And that's it. And, and then come to find out, as I was doing my research, that was a lie. That was a myth that started in the 1930s. So I don't know if you are someone who also had heard that we only use a percentage of our brains. But I'm going to tell you right here and now that statement was a lie that you were told. It is not true. You can use your full capacity, the whole and full capacity of your brain. Your brain is your superpower. I'm going to be titling this segment. This video is your outer reality is a reflection of your inner reality. And what is your inner reality? What does that mean? Well, it has to do with your subconscious, your mind, your brain. You are more powerful than you think. And you have superpowers. And where do you find this superpower? Again, in your subconscious, in your mind. Your brain is your superpower. And a lot of us don't even know it. So today I am wanting to share my life's journey and how learning this knowledge benefited me greatly. And I think that it will benefit you as well. About 3.5 years ago, I was living up north, Minnesota. My daughter, I had my oldest daughter at the time. I wasn't even pregnant yet with my youngest son, but I was living in a small town on my own. Recently, had just gotten out of a 10-year relationship, and was trying to learn how to be independent, to be a single mom, all of it, all on my own. And I was very depressed. I was using drugs at the time. I was an active addict, and I had a lot of I guess what you would call mental issues going on. I was diagnosed with depression. I had anxiety. I had, at one point in time, I had tried going to therapy. They told me that I had borderline personality disorder with a hint of something else. They didn't even know what the fuck it was. My life was in shambles, we'll just say that. And I was so unhappy. I hated where my life was at. And I had taken on this suggestion that my reality was a reflection of my inner reality, that we create our reality. And, when I was told that, I was like, if that's true, I sure fucking am not happy with what I created. And just thinking about it on a 3D level of what I could comprehend of what that really meant, I didn't like it. I didn't like the thought that I possibly could have created all of that for myself. So I took that suggestion and I experimented with it. Okay, I started learning about what the conscious mind was, what the subconscious mind was. I started learning about negative beliefs. I started learning about childhood trauma, and I started learning how the brain works and how childhood trauma can affect you and how it impacts your subconscious mind and how day to day how it will play out in your, that's what I was trying to say, how childhood trauma and much, much more can impact your subconscious mind. Not even impact, but just to influence your everyday life because of your subconscious. It is a very, very interesting topic, and that's what we're going to get into today. I will say this, that applying this knowledge that I obtained worked. It worked. Some of it had immediate results. Others took me a while because I had childhood trauma. But after learning how and trying different methods and how to start using my conscious and subconscious mind and how to get them to work together and for in my benefit and being conscious about that, I started to reprogram my mind. And I started eliminating the negative beliefs that I had instilled within myself. And by doing that, what are you doing? And by doing that, it changed my outer reality. I started taking the I'm not good enough negative beliefs that I had instilled in my subconscious, that I had put tags in my subconscious, things that I had told myself even at a young age without realizing it, that I was not worthy, that I was not good enough, that I am not lovable, that I didn't even know I didn't even love myself. And by doing that, I sent all the information to my subconscious, and it was immediately being reflected back to me in my outer reality. Why was it that the people that I love the most don't seem to love me? Why don't I get the same respect that I dish out, or so I thought? Why don't they show it back? Why do I not feel like I am worthy enough? Addison, come on. 1 second. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Okay, sorry about that. So, it all had to do with these tags, these thoughts, these suggestions that I impressed upon my subconscious. And that is what was affecting my day-to-day life and how I had created what was one of the most lowest points in my time of discovering this. But I turned a lot of that around for the better. So, how the mind works. Your mind, I'm going to open this up. There is, oh no, I forgot to, okay, habitual. I think I remember what that meant. Okay. Your mind is the most precious possession. It is always with you, but its most amazing powers will be yours only when you have learned how to use it. As we have seen, there are 2 levels to your mind, the conscious or rational level, and the subconscious or irrational level. Now, so your conscious, which is rational thinking, simply put, is, so it's if your thoughts are based on facts and not emotions, okay? So, and then your subconscious or irrational level, irrational is not logical or like reason. So it's irrational is not logic or reason, okay? I had to write down the definitions. I have to know everything. So if you didn't understand what that meant, there you go. So you think with your conscious mind, and whatever you habitually think sinks down into your subconscious mind, which then creates according to the nature of your thoughts. Your subconscious mind is the seat of your emotions. It is the creative mind. If you think good, good will follow. If you think evil, evil will follow. This is the way your mind works. The most important point to remember is this. Once the subconscious mind accepts an idea, it begins to execute it. You know, it begins to it begins to execute it. So when your mind, so in another term, when your mind accepts that it is true, it then brings upon results that follow because you consciously assumed it to be true. Even if it's not. Okay? So, the important point to remember is this. Once the subconscious mind, I already said that. So, it is an astonishing and subtle truth that the law of subconscious mind works for good and bad ideas alike. This law, when applied in a negative way, is the cause of failure, is the cause of frustration and unhappiness, okay? So when you are thinking in a negative mindset, this is where failure, frustration, and unhappiness comes from, is due to this law of your subconscious, if you're applying it in a negative way, okay? When you're habitual thinking, now habitual means, I had just had this up and I was going to write it down, but I got so excited to start my video. Habitual, which is meaning like when your thinking pattern, when you, it's a repeated thing, you know, it's habitual. You always do it, okay? When your habitual thinking is harmonious, constructive, however, you experience So yeah, so you can do this when your habitual thinking, whether when it is in a negative way, this is what can cause the failure and frustration and the unhappiness. But if you can train your habitual thinking as in harmonious and constructive in a positive way, is when you will start to experience the perfect health. You will start to experience success and prosperity. Okay? So, peace of mind and a healthy body are inedible once you begin to think and feel in the right way. However, you claim mentally and feel as true, your subconscious mind will accept and bring forth into your experience. All you have to do is get your subconscious mind to accept your idea. Once that happens, the law of your subconscious mind will bring forth the health and peace and prosperity you desire. You give the command or decree, and your subconscious will faithfully reproduce the idea impressed upon it. So the law of your mind is this: the reaction or response you get from your subconscious mind will be determined by the nature of your thoughts or ideas you hold in your conscious mind. So psychologists and psychiatrists point out that when the thoughts are conveyed to your subconscious mind, impressions are made in the brain cells. As soon as your subconscious accepts any idea, it proceeds to put into effect immediately. Working by association of idea is used every bit of knowledge that you have gathered in your lifetime to bring about its purpose. So it draws on the infinite power, energy, and wisdom within you. Okay? So it lines up all the laws of nature to get its way. Sometimes it seems to bring about an immediate resolution to your difficulties, but at other times it may take days, weeks, or longer. Okay? So its ways are past finding out. Okay? And there are different ways of going about this. Okay? For me, when I started to figure this out, when I was like, okay, I was like, if I'm always in, because I knew enough that I had a negative mindset, because I was depressed. I was having suicidal thoughts, and I just couldn't get happy. Everything seemed negative around me. So I knew that much. I knew I was having a negative mindset, okay, with being open to the suggestion that this was true, okay? I was opening up to a new idea, just trying anything because obviously I felt like I was the problem. I'm like, I can't get nobody else to change their fucking ways. Then obviously I'm the problem. So what can I do to work on myself to make things better? Okay? So one thing I tried was affirmations, okay? And at first I thought they were the stupidest fucking things ever. And excuse my language, but I swear. I thought it was the dumbest thing. I'm like, really? But that's how negative my mind was. I'm like, what is the fucking point? But with this being so, I was willing to try this concept, that if you say an affirmation enough times, which is a positive statement that you are applying about yourself, if you say it so many times habitually, repeatedly, then your subconscious has no reasoning. All it can do is accept it and take that information in, jot it down, and replace it. So it would, so the idea was to replace the negative thought system, the thought beliefs, the negative thought patterns, replace them with new, positive, harmonious thought patterns, okay? It's reprogramming your mind. And it does work, okay? So, where are we at? We are almost at 20 minutes. Let's see. 20 minutes. So, I think that for today, let's see, do I want to read it? The difference between your conscious and conscious mind. So I think that's where I'm going to end this today. Now, if you are curious and think that, and I'm going to share more now, like tomorrow or on another video, I'm going to be explaining the difference between your conscious and your subconscious mind and how they work, okay? And if this is something that, which I already kind of explained a little bit, like how it works, the mind works, but we're going to get into detail of the difference between your conscious and your subconscious mind, okay? And how learning this is basically a superpower within itself. Because then once you learn this, then you can start taking, like I was saying, if you have negative thought patterns, if you have negative beliefs about yourself that are stored within your subconscious, you can change those for the better, and you can get the fuck out of your own way and start applying it to your life. And trust me when I say that this works. So I hope that, if this is something you're interested in and interested in learning more about, please give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, and please share this to anyone who may be interested, okay? Because I'm willing to share my wisdom and my knowledge and my truth and my personal journey on how applying this changed my life for the better, and it can change yours too, okay? Thank you all who tuned in. Thanks for stopping. I love you all. Mahalo.